Sa bawat sandali, ang tanging minimithi ay maibahagi ang mabuting balita ng Panginoon. Asahang may kaibigan ka, handang maglingkod sa iyo't tuwina, anumang panahon na ay pag-ibig ng Panginoon. 1197 DXFE 1197 DXFE 1197 DXFE 1197 DXFE, ang tanging Good News Radio.
Yes, hello everyone and welcome to our special episode of Usapang OFW Help Desk and Limitless Combined. And we are on air over 1197 DXFE as well as live streaming on both 1197 DXFE and Global Impact Facebook pages. So sa atong mga listeners in different provinces, dire sa aton Davao Region, maayong udto diha kaninyo. This is Ate MD with my special guest here. And we are live from the Global Impact Philippines Media Studio in Davao City. And let me mention especially our avid listeners, Pastor Amy, in of course our Suki in Barangay Talukanga, Malita, Davao Occidental, they are our listeners on radio. And we also have our friends in Barangay Upper Balang, Magsaysay, Davao del Sur. Hello diha kaninyo. And of course, diha sa Digos, Davao del Sur, Kapalong, Davao del Norte, Padernal family. And our friends in Santo Tomas, Davao del Norte. Para sa inyong mga reaksyon, opinion, o unsa pa man, mahimo mong mag-text, mutawag sa numerong 0939 6253912. And of course, to our online friends, our beloved OFWs, our overseas Filipino workers, thank you for being with us today. Special mention to our friends in Canada and in France. And also, let me acknowledge all those who are with us online today, even if it is a holiday. Thank you for joining us this morning. Hi, Pastor Amy.
Hi, MD. Wow. Woo, that was a long introduction.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. I want to say hello to you as well.
Hi.
Thank you for having me on your show.
Of course, Pastor Amy, the founding director, you're always welcome. And we'd like to inform our listeners, our audience, that we are doing this live today, combined Limitless, because we did not have Limitless live stream yesterday. And of course, Usapang OFW Help Desk, because this is dedicated to Ukraine. Our topic today is all about Ukraine. As we know, in the past few days, Ukraine is under attack by the Russian government, by the Russian military, and Ukraine is something very close to you and very close to global impact. So, Pastor Amy, let me ask you, why is it close to you? Why is it relevant to us in global impact?
Okay, thank you, MD. I just want to shout out to my niece is on, Allie.
Wow.
And she's watching. I believe you're watching, Allie. So I
Wow.
love you. Thank you for being on. I see that Lull is on. Joellen, you're on. And as the different ones come through, we're so grateful that you're here with us for, as you mentioned, this Ukraine special edition. Because, well, my heart is broken right now, as I'm sure around the world, and yours is. Like, as I communicate with people, everybody's in shock on what's happening. Our heart is breaking for the people of the Ukraine. And to answer your question, why is it important to me personally, to us as Global Impact? Well, actually, MD, Ukraine was the very first country where Global Impact was birthed.
Wow.
Back in 1997, myself and Lorraine Bachtold, we were kind of, we weren't fresh graduates from Bible school, but we'd been, doing
So
ministry
young.
still young, 20s, and we went to the Ukraine on God's direction, and that's where Global Impact started, and then from there has just grown over the years, and so I've traveled all through the country, preaching, ministering. I know so many people. And even people that right at this moment are under fire, that are hiding out in bomb shelters or in their apartments. And another thing that's just so concerning is that as Global Impact, we started an orphanage there 10 years ago, as you know, and most of our viewers know, and we have 50 children that are there and in danger, along with all the staff. So this is why Ukraine is very important. As I watch the news, as I'm talking to people there, I've been on those streets. I've been in those cities. I've been in those buildings.
You know people.
I know people.
They're friends.
They're friends. They're ones that I love. They're our family in God. They're our brothers and sisters. And, the other day I woke up to the news and pictures of our children in the orphanage in a makeshift bomb shelter that they had made, because there was fighting just near the orphanage, and 2 fighter jets, in fact I think it was actually 3 fighter jets, were shot down. Russian fighter jets were shot down just nearby in the neighboring city. And so of course they put all the children in the makeshift bomb shelter, like in the home, and it just it breaks my heart, because it still doesn't look like things are getting any better. It seems like it's getting worse. And I actually, MD, it's what time here? By the way, I'm going to be checking my phone because I'm communicating with people, and those of you, as you come online, I'll say hello. But it's what time here? It's about almost 12 noon.
Almost 12, yeah.
And I've been up since 2:30 this morning.
Wow.
And you know me, that's not my normal. I'm more of a late nighter than an early morning. But I've been up since 2:30 a.m. communicating with my different contacts there, and also with my interpreter who's then communicating with others, and the precarious and dangerous situations that they're in. It's just horrible.
It's so heartbreaking. Sa mga naminaw nato, no? Kini siya kay ang atong ginaistoryahan ang kabahin sa Ukraine and sama sa giingon naatay orphanage didto og naatay mga kauban sa ministry didto, and so mao tong gina-share ni Pastor Amy unsa ang ilang ginaagian karon. So Pastor Amy, can you like share some stories
yeah.
that they shared to you, like the interpreter,
Yes, okay.
what happened to
Yes.
her family?
Yes. I just want to mention to anyone that's out there listening, internationally. So if MD speaks Visayan, what we're doing today is we're combining two programs. So our Limitless for international audience and Usapang
Usapang OFW.
for the local Philippine audience. So we're combining it today. So she's going to speak in local language, but she'll always interpret it back into English. And then vice versa, you'll
Yes.
interpret my English.
Yes.
Yes. So do you want to you want to share that with the
With the Visayan audience.
that you'll interpret for me?
Oo. So, mao ni siya ang mahitabo, no, kung naay mga panaghisgot diri kay kabaluman ko nga dili ta tanan makasabot og in English ingana. So, kutob sa akong makaya, akong hubaron para sa inyo, ha.
Yeah.
Okay, as we were saying, you're
So,
gonna share some stories.
I have a couple there, and I'm hoping that. Okay, I'll tell you the story. I have a couple that I'm very close to. Both the husband and wife are interpreters for me. They both speak very good English, and when I've traveled there over the last number of years, they're right with me. Because when I travel in Ukraine, most people don't speak English, so it's necessary to have an interpreter with you the whole time, which is different than here in the Philippines, because people speak English. And so this couple is very dear to me, and an amazing couple, and they just had a baby not too long ago, like I think the baby is about a year old. And several days ago, I kind of lost track of time now, but maybe it was 3 days ago when the bombing started in Kiev.
Or 5,
Yeah, 3 or 4 days ago when the bombing started in Kiev, they were woken up by it at 6 a.m. And by 7 a.m. they were already exiting Kiev. And it took them, they said, 3.5 hours just to get out of the city. And why? Because there was already so much traffic and so many people trying to get out. MD, they traveled for 19 hours to get to a border to try to cross. I mean, here they are, they've got a young child, and they're trying to protect. And over 500,000 people, almost 500,000 people in the Ukraine have already crossed borders. And so when they got to the border, Ukraine had put a law into place that no men ages 18 to 60 could leave the country. So, of course, they had a very hard decision to make at that point. Does she stay with her husband, or does she go with the baby? Oh, even as I say it, can you imagine being in that situation? And they made a very brave and I think very wise decision, and she crossed the border, and with the baby, and she left. And the husband is still in the Ukraine right now, and she is actually safely in Romania, thank God. And so I'm actually hoping that she can join us on this broadcast or another one to share her story. But it's quite, it's, just the heartbreak of what's happening, the danger. It's pretty wild. Do you want to, I kind of said a lot there in English, so.
Yes. Okay, so katong kuan ni Pastor Amy, katong share niya, naay kanang mga higala didto, magtiayon na ay bata gamay, 1-year-old or kapin, no? And then kinahanglan sila nga magbakwit mo palayo, no? Kay syempre unsaon man nimo, nagabomba na nadunggan nila dito sa syudad sa Kiev, no? Unya mao toy nakapakuan sa ilaha, nakapa-motivate sa ilaha nga mogawas. And then nag-travel sila, nagbiyahe sila 19 hours, imagine that, para makagawas adto nga syudad para ma-safe sila, malayo sila sa gera. Pero adunay balaod ang ilang gobyerno nga ang mga tanan nga lalaki 18 hangtod 60 years old dili pwede mohawa sa ilang nasod kay nga naman mutabang og kuan god mutabang og defend sa ilang nasod. And so ani abot sila sa point nga mag-decide sila unsa man mukuyog ba ang iyang asawa sa iyang sa anak nga mo cross sa border or mabilin dito sa iyang bana. And siguro makarelate mo no nga mga naminaw nato karon, especially ang mga wife diha, makarelate gyud mo sa iyang giagian. Dili gyud siya lalim pero ang ilang decide no nga mukuyog siya sa iyang anak. Naa sila sa Romania karon og nabilin ang bana. And so mauna ang atong hope and kung ano nga pray nga maayo lang yun sila, nasa sila sa maayong kahimtang, and hopefully anytime basig maka-join siya sa atua. Salamat kaayo no sa pagsabot nga naagyon ta in English og mga Bisaya karon to cater to all our audience this morning. Yeah.
If somebody's just tuning in internationally, we're doing this in 2 languages, so I'll share. And then MD, we won't do just direct translation, but more summarizing. So, because we want everybody to be able to understand, and we have a lot of local audience, that would be, it's much better to have it in Visayan.
Yes, because we are also live on air all over Davao region and, Bisaya speaking communities we have out there. Before we proceed, I'd like to acknowledge also our audience, our onliners on the DXFE page, because we are live streaming on DXFE Facebook page and also on Global Impact Facebook page. So, shout out to Marilo Sato. Good afternoon, mga ma'am. And also, Ate Joy Pangandayaday. Good morning, Ate MD and Pastor Amy. Lilibeth Go said, good morning po. And Sheila Ibanez and also Jelaika Serafika are with us online this morning. Okay, Pastor Amy, let's talk about the Living Pearl Orphanage. We know that these children are still healing from the trauma of abuse, abandonment, and there are 50 of them homed in Living Pearl. So, as you said, they are in a makeshift bomb shelter. Tell us more about what they are going through right now. How are they coping up?
From talking to Pastor Sasha, who's the one, he and I co-founded the orphanage together, and he runs it, there is the pastor of the community. We were discussing that, of course the children they're scared, they're confused, but the staff are trying to keep as normal of a schedule as possible. Of course, explain to the children. I don't actually know after this, because when I talked to him, that was previous to them having to be in the bomb shelter. And so after, when there was fighting and fighter jets, overhead, and they have to actually go into the makeshift bomb shelter, I actually, just thinking about this, I didn't actually ask him, because we were discussing evacuation and what to do and safety and protocol. But what I do know is that the staff are doing the very best to keep them calm and keep them, as just what you would like to do, as normal as possible. Yes.
Wow.
But
And
I can
there
only
are 50
imagine.
of them?
There's 50 children, starting from very young age all the way up to teenagers. And actually, we have the most children in our home than we've had in all these years. We started the home about 10 years ago, just over 10 years ago. We celebrated our 10-year anniversary in December. And at that time in December, we had about 45 children. And since that time, have taken in 5 more. So 50 is really a very full home for us. And MD, I was thinking, actually, we prayed that this war, winds down and peace comes back. But I just wonder how many children will actually also be made orphans after this. And so our home could take them in. But the current status is 50 kids. And yes, their backgrounds, they come from extreme neglect, abandonment, they're abused, they're orphaned. In some capacity, they needed a home. And that's why they're with us at Living Pearl. Now, we call it Living Pearl because we look at them as treasures. And the story of a pearl is that it comes from friction, right? In the sand, inside the shell, and over time, through pressure and through friction, a pearl is formed. And that's how we look at these precious children. You know, they've really come from, you know, already traumatic backgrounds, challenging backgrounds, but they are an absolute treasure. And so we call them living pearls, and that's
Wow.
where the name comes from.
Yeah. That's really beautiful story, no? Even I have a special affection for the living pearl, for our living pearl in Ukraine. Sa mga naminaw, ako lang gusto i-share, no, nga katong naatay orphanage nga gitawag didto, unya naatay 50 ka mga bata. And kani nga mga bata gikan sa abuso, sa kanang mga gibiyaan, sa mga wala na gyoy mga ginikanan. Niagi sila og lisod kaayo nga mga kahimtang og naa na sila karon diha sa atong orphanage. And sumala sa giingon, no, wala pa sila na kuan, wala pa sila naka-move on, wala pa sila na-heal dito sa ilang mga giagian, sa trauma, etc. And then naanapod sila karon nagkasinati og kalisod og ano, no, unsa nga mga kondisyon nga dili maayo para sa ilaha. Unya nagkuan sila karon kanang naningkamot ang mga staff nga normal lang ang ilang kinabuhi, dili sila mahadlok kaayo. So mao na siya ang atong ginahimo didto sa Ukraine, sa atong orphanage. And also with the 50 kids, our staff, and how are they? Like, are they able to still go back to their families, or, you know, the staff, the personnel of the orphanage? And
Well, most live or either, you know, very close by, like
Okay.
in the town or the village. So at the moment, yes, they can travel back and forth, obviously, unless the sirens go off. So what's happening in the cities, like both here and then also in the cities, as I'm communicating with different ones, is whenever there's an attack or some imminent danger, sirens go off. And then that's when everybody takes cover. So that's what had happened here. And so when the fighter jets were flying overhead and they were shooting them down, thank God, the sirens went off, and that's why they put the children in the bomb shelter. So at the moment, and then the last maybe 24 hours, things have been peaceful and quiet in that area. Now we know that there's other places in Ukraine, though, where there's heavy fire. In fact, I'm getting constant news feed, and just a few hours ago, just saying that it's like, I mean, there is really like horrendous type of bombing in some of the major places, a major city. In fact, a large envoy of Russian military trucks was on its way into Kiev. So I'm very concerned right at the moment because I don't have an update on that. And then, as mentioned, there's other pastors and leaders that I know in a city called Chernihiv. And when we communicated with them just several hours ago, they said that they were in their home, like apartment home. A lot of people have apartments there for their homes, and they're in the, you know, very central part in the hallway, because it's the safest place. They don't want to be anywhere near windows. And
because of the bombs?
because if a bomb were to hit, of course, and then the windows shattered, then you can get, you know, you can have be hurt from that. Very dangerous. So I guess the theory is that the safest place is going to be away from windows. Obviously, if you took a direct bomb, then it doesn't matter where you are. But in this case, if, you know, flying debris and all of that, it's the safest place to be. And so there they are. Another pastor in that same city, I haven't heard from her now in 24 hours. So I'm, you know, I'm concerned and praying, because I said, how are you? Are you safe? She said, no, we are not safe. And there's bombs going off all over. So that's, that's the situation. I know other people that are in Kiev, and they're in the exact same situation. They either just stay in their apartments, or they'll go to bomb shelters to stay when the sirens go off. But from what I understand right now, Kiev is under some heavy fire.
Oh my God.
It's
Really,
unbelievable.
yeah, heartbreaking, and at the same time, really, like, I don't know, there's this anger inside of me that's
Yeah.
welling up.
Yes.
Because it's not even war.
Yeah.
It's not even war. Like,
Yeah.
they're attacked just because.
Just because, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So,
unprovoked.
yeah.
It's there's no reason for it other than Russia wants to take over the land, you know, and Putin in his craziness of mind, and why he thinks that Ukraine is his and that he can do this. And so, yeah, it's heartbreaking and it's maddening at the same time, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Especially there are so many innocent children.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and innocent people.
You know, I'm also seeing news, which is that the Russian military, along the way, they're attacking kindergartens, and there was an orphanage that they already attacked. So it's like, it's war
is
crimes.
that? Why is that?
And they're attacking residential areas as well. So there's no mercy here. There's no rules of engagement. There's nothing like that. This is horrible.
Yeah.
This is horrible.
Super, super horrible. Sa mga naminaw nato karon kanang atong istoryahan, nagunsa naman ang atong mga kauban dito, ang atong orphanage, ang atong mga kabatanunan dito sa atong home, sa atong orphanage, and maulagi na siya nga makeshift. Ibig sabihin, naghimo-himo na lang sila, nangita na lang sila pinakalig-on nga parte sa ilang kung asa sila pwede magtago kay wala man sila nakaprepara niini. So imagine ka ang imong kabanay or 50 ka mga bata nga kinahanglan nimo taguan, kinahanglan nimo nga bantayan, kinahanglan nimo nga ipacify kung maghilak. Kuan gyud dili gyud siya basta-basta, and pati ang atong mga kauban dito sa ministry, mga pastors, group of pastors nga pirmi ginaadtuan ni Pastor Amy dito, dili gyud sila safe, naa sila sa dili maayong kahimtang, and mao na siya nga concerned kaayo si Pastor Amy o kami diri sa Global Impact, because they're our family, no? Bisag kita, siguro kita nga mga listeners sa DXFE, mga Christians, no, body of Christ, mga brothers and sisters nato sila nga naa sa dili maayong kahimtang, mao na siya nga nagasubaybay gyud ato jud siyang ginatan-aw kung unsa ang atong pwede mahimo. I'm just thinking, Pastor Amy, we are so far, we cannot do anything. What do they need right now? What can we do right now to help them? Somehow help them.
Yeah. Prayer, and which I think a lot of people are already doing. So just keep the prayers going. That is absolutely important. The second way that I know to help is through donations. And people have been very generous so far in our giving. And we have donation options, and what we're doing is building an emergency fund, and we're already starting to send those monies to different ones in need, and for not only for the orphanage, but for the network of people that we have that I'm telling, you know, their story right now. They do need money. In fact, I'll tell you several of them, and one in particular. One of the stories was that a pastor and his family and several others, I believe it was Kiev that they left, that they evacuated from, but from a large city. So they got out of the large city. And as of a few hours ago, when I was calling Ukraine, they were still on the road and trying to get to their destination. And it was very difficult, very hard. They said that they had really saw God's protection on them, because there would be times that they would go over a bridge, it would be fine, and after they got across, it would be blown up behind them. Like that horrible. The stores that they were going into either had no food or very little food. Gas stations as well. In some places there's just no gas left. In fact, that was a prayer that we had for our interpreter, the husband I was telling about earlier, because when he had his car and his wife had gone across already, and he got back in his car and was going to go to his destination, he didn't have enough gas to get to his destination, because I guess his car tells him how many kilometers he has in his tank. And so I was sending out prayer requests like, you know, God, pray that God will multiply his gas to get to his destination, because he was telling me there's no gas in the gas stations. You can't get gas. So we were praying, and a lot of people prayed, but God did do a miracle. And it was that he found gas in a gas station along the way. So he multiplied it in that way. So thank God he got safely to where he was going. And in that area is still in the Ukraine, so there's still danger, but it's not as dangerous as other places. So this other one that I was just telling you about, this gentleman and his family and entourage, still on the road, and even staying with people that they don't even know. They just took them in because they needed a place to stay. Wow. And earlier this morning, he only had left about the equivalent of $15 US in their money. That's all he had left in his account, in his like for cash in his account. And so we sent him money immediately. $15, that was it for several of them. And so there's many that are like that. And also we need to prepare for the coming days if this keeps escalating. And weeks, I hope not, but we don't know how long this is gonna, whether it's just gonna get resolved and they're gonna get, Russia will get crushed, I hope, militarily, or we don't know what's gonna happen, but the preparation. So what we're doing is collecting funds and basically sending it to them as fast as possible, because another concern is that the banking systems could collapse. Even right now, it's very difficult for people to get any type of cash out of the ATM. So as of like a day or two ago, people were lining up at ATMs waiting hours just to go and get cash. I believe now it's out. From who I've talked to, they can't get any money out of ATMs. Some out of the bank, but what is cash directly from the bank? But it depends on where you're at, depends on what city, depends on your bank. And so what is working at the moment is their cards, like like an FPOS card or an ATM card. And if they go into a store and they can use that to purchase. So like the digital electronics credit card debit system is still operational.
Praise God.
Yeah. So, but we just don't know if that could crash as well.
Yeah.
So I believe the urgency is for us to get money to them while they can still get it, and they could go to the store and get supplies that are still there. And we have a number of different ways that people can donate. If you're interested, we guarantee that money is going to go, and it's going to help either the orphanage, it's going to help people in need in Ukraine.
Yeah, and we have flashed on the screen the different options for giving, and that's for Philippines. So we have GCash, we have PayPal, BDO bank account, cryptocurrency even, and credit card or PayPal International. And I just like to take note of what Pastor Amy said a while ago about the urgency of sending help now, especially katong mga families sa OFWs, if you have kanang mga relatives dito or mga pamilya dito nga naapa dito or naa sa duol, kato siya, importante kayo to nga atong i-take note nga as much as possible magpadala na karon while the digital system is still operational, no? Kay we don't know kanusa na siya nga dili na pwede. And they are lining up, nagakuan sila para sa pagkaon, sa fuel even, no? So, mao ka na ang inyong unahon na gyud ASAP karon. And we in Global Impact are accepting donations right now so that we can send. Pastor Amy, we've been sending to the pastors there and to friends, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
already. We can receive it here, but then we send and administrate everything from our U.S. office, which has direct, wire transfers and stuff into the Philippines. So, but yes, you can give here to make it more convenient, right into like our BDO account or a GCash, and then we will convert it within our our internal transfers in Global Impact to our U.S. office, and then send to them in the Ukraine. So that's how we're doing it.
Yeah, and so please visit our pages for more details on how to give. Okay, so that we can help one another. As we said, number one is prayer, because this is something that is so beyond our control, and we can only seek God to help us in divine intervention for this situation na mag-end na siya, no. Pastor Amy, can you speak to our audience? How can they further help? And also, maybe some are there in the crisis situation and
right.
they need like encouragement.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes. I do want to just say forgiving for our international
sure.
viewers as well. You can always go to our website and you can give via credit card, debit card, and PayPal. So, anywhere in the world can do that from whatever country. We also do have specific details if you're in New Zealand and also in America. So again, just check our Facebook site or message us. We can help you. We'd love to facilitate those type of donations and getting them over there. So your question was somebody that is in country, possibly, and yeah, wow. Well, if you need help, if you need something, if you in the Ukraine right now, possibly an OFW that's there. OFW for our international audience means Overseas Filipino Worker, and there's over 10 million, I believe.
Yes, or more undocumented.
Okay, yeah, so 10 to 15, 20 million?
More likely.
Okay, that many Filipino workers go overseas, and if you've traveled at all, you'll meet a beautiful Filipino smile in almost any country that you go to, which is really true.
Yeah, true.
And so that's another reason that MD has this particular broadcast and show, because there's so many OFWs around the world, and then their families are here. Actually, they're separated because of work. And so, but if you happen to be an OFW in Ukraine and you see this and you need help, please just reach out to us, and we can further facilitate and try to help you in whatever capacity that you might need. If anybody also has a relative that happens to be in the Ukraine and you need prayer, you need encouragement, we just invite you to reach out to us. Yeah.
Okay, so mauna siya, no? Katong mga naminaw na ay mga kamag-anak or mga relatives, mga silingan diha nga naa dito sa Ukraine or kanang mga silingan god nga mga kuan nga mga nasod, pwede kaayo mo nga mo kuan sa amoa, mo mensahe, mo reach out sa amoa, and para tan-awon nato asa ta pwede magka unsa na siya, magkatinabangay, no? Kay kuan kabalumi nga dili lalim, siguro ang uban wala nay balita sa inyong mga kapamilya didto, ang uban siguro dili nga sure kung buhi pa ba or unsa. So ayaw mo og kaulaw nga magmensahe sa amoa, kay pwede nato nga itapod ang atong mga networks sa nagkalain-lain nga lugar para matanawan ang panginahanglan sa inyong mga kabanay or mga OFWs nga kauban ninyo. And before ta mag-proceed na pod, I would like to mention ang atong mga kauban diri karon. We have Nile Cruz. Good morning, Ma'am MD and Pastor Amy. Hello po diha ninyo. Charisma Songkat. Good morning po, Ma'am. Mercy Bautista. Hello, Ate Mary Ann.
Hi, Mercy.
Where are you? I was looking for you. Joke lang. Mary Ann Batasinin sa Lison. Good morning po, Ma'am. And AI de la Serna. Yeah. Do you have...
I have Ann. Hi, Ann. She's just downstairs, so she's on the
Very
broadcast.
convenient.
And Kazaya, one of our most faithful
Limitless.
Yes, viewers, along with Joellen. Also, Joellen, we love you. Yes,
yeah.
you're always with us. Lal was on earlier. I think I mentioned her. I don't know if you're still on, but that's who I have coming up, although I don't think my feed is coming up thoroughly.
Yeah.
So if somebody is on and watching, I don't have it, but thank you for being on, or maybe you're watching this in its recorded version. Please feel free to share this broadcast, to share our posts, to let people know, especially if they're looking for a way to give and to help, you can do that via Global Impact, and you'll be guaranteed that your donation will help the people of the Ukraine and the children in our orphanage.
Yeah. And actually, your story about what's happening in Ukraine reminds me of the story of Marawi.
Yeah.
Very close to our heart.
Yeah.
Marawi, Attorney Rahana, if you're out there over there,
I see
shout
on.
out, hello,
Hi, we
hello
love
to
you.
you. Yeah, and I just remember your story of how you were going running around like a headless chicken, looking for food, looking for shelter for your family because they had to flee from Marawi to the nearby city, like most on foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember it was 11-hour trek
Yeah.
on foot. She had to grab her children, Attorney Rahana, right?
Yes.
Whatever money, whatever she could just grab.
Yeah.
And they walked 11 hours to the closest city.
Yeah,
Because
rain or
the
shine.
same exact thing was happening. There was a siege and the bombing, the terrorists came in and tried to take Marawi City.
Yeah. So sa mga naminaw nato kung ano ma-imagine maglisod ta og imagine, just remember unsay nahitabo sa Marawi kay ingana ang panghitabo didto, and most of them actually all of them had to leave their homes kay wala naman sila mabalikan nga balay. At ground zero, you can never find any home nga livable pa nga pwede pa magamit. So ingana sa Marawi sa una, and then Global Impact was one of those nga ni adto didto, gave relief and psychosocial interventions, etc. So hopefully when all this ends, ingana good maka-send gihapon ta og help, but right now they still need your help. Sama sa atong giingon ganina nga nagkalain-lain nga pamaagi for us to send help katong mga BDO diri sa Pilipinas. GCash, pwede kaayo ang GCash. Naa sa atong mga pages unya ang kuanana is any amount pwede ra kaayo, and you know nga sa Global Impact you will receive reports, makita ninyo ang atong mga ginahimo, ang atong kung asa padulong ang inyong mga donations, and that's guaranteed nga kuan mo padulong siya sa angay niyang padulngan. All right, Pastor Amy. Yes.
We have a question from Leogen, and he says, but I need you to interpret it. City.
Question, which city sila sa Ukraine? Which city are they in Ukraine? You mean Living Pearl? The Living Pearl,
Maybe he means Living Pearl.
Yeah.
I'll just say Central Ukraine since we're online. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I can message you privately, but they're in the very
Oh, yeah.
center part of Ukraine, not just to
Sure. Yeah.
disclose their exact location online.
So naa sila sa Central Ukraine. Siyempre dili nato i-mention kung asa ang exact location kay kinahanglan nato protektahan pod ang ilang sila kung asa sila kay para po dili pod matultulan, no, kay ingana man ta. Mauto siya kanang sa atong paghisgot-hisgot. I hope nga katong mga naminaw nato diha sa Jose Abad Santos, diha sa Davao Oriental, ang atong mga friends diha sa Kapalong, etc. I hope nga kanang kuan pod mo, no, mututok pod mo apil ta sa atong pagkuan, pagampo nga kini mahuman na kay dili siya lalim ang ilang ginaagian didto. Murag layo lang pero kabalota nga bisan pa unsa kalayo na siya, eventually we will be affected, no? Maapektuhan gyud kay everything is connected baya. We are a community, no? There is sa kalibutan, and so kung ingana magdugay pa na siya, maapektuhan gyud ta. And so kinahanglan ta nga mutabang sa pagampo unsa man atong angay buhaton, atong pagabuhaton as part of the community. I see Roldan Villapuerte de la Cruz, aka Goryo from Santo Tomas, watching. Salamat kaayo, Goryo, for joining us this morning. All right, we're like wrapping up, Pastor Amy. Any message that you want to give to our limitless audience, to our OFWs and their families?
Yeah. Oh, I just want to thank you for listening to this, to watching, sharing it. Ukraine is just top on everybody's minds and hearts right now, and I think that's so important. And so thank you for being, really being with us. If you're interested in hearing more, you can always contact us, follow us on our Facebook. I'd also like to do another episode. We were trying to have as a guest on today the woman that had to flee with her baby, who's my interpreter. She is not able to be online right now, so I think we'll do a part 2 to this, or another episode where we can interview her, and all of you can hear directly from some that are there, and to hear their story directly. So again, thank you for your prayers. Thank you for staying in touch. Thank you for following us. Thank you for donations that you give. And I just want to say, even a small amount can help. Remember that pastor had only $15 left. We sent him something like a little over $100. We plan to send more as we have the more money that comes in. But even $10, $15, 500 pesos, 1,000 pesos, 5,000, whatever it might be, or from around the world, it all helps. So the large donations and the small, we take them all because why? It comes from the heart and it can truly help.
Yes, amen. Salamat kaayo. Thank you kaayo, Pastor Amy. Thank you kaayo.
I understood.
Okay.
That.
Even the kaayo?
Kaayo, I understand. Yes, I
That's
understand.
the superlative.
I speak Gamilang Visayan.
Yes, because she's a Filipina.
I am a Filipina. Yes, hello, Usapang OFW audience and
Yes.
DXFE. I'm not usually on the show. MD's never invited me, so
Wow. Be
Joke
healed
lang.
from that.
I don't know. We're laughing after such a serious topic. But anyway, but it's okay. We still have to have laughter. And, but I'm just joking that she's really never. But she hasn't actually. So I'm glad we were able to do this. It's just a joke. Able to do this special Ukraine episode.
Okay, thank you, Pastor Amy. I was speechless. Take note.
Joke lang, joke lang.
Okay, salamat kaayo sa mga kauban nato karon. Sama sa giingon, pwede gyud ta magtinabangay, pwede bisag pila inyong ihatag ato jud nang ipaabot didto sa mga nanginahanglan. And bisan pa medyo kuanta light lang ta, nagkatakatawa ta dire because we know that there is hope in Christ. Okay, so dili kaayo ta masubo kaayo because naga-pray man ta, nagaampo ta, but at the same time also we are one with our brothers and sisters dito sa Ukraine. Mauna siya nga after ani naapad tayo nagkalain-lain nga episodes about it, or mga kuan siguro mga interview etc., para mas masabtan gyud nato og mas kabaluta unsaon nato pag-help, unsaon nato pagtabang sa ilaha. And also ma-update pud ta sa atong mga kapamilya kung naman tay kapamilya didto. And maura to atong ibilin ang atong mga sending details, giving details dito sa atong nagkalain-lain nga Facebook pages. And with that, daghang salamat kaayo sa mga kauban nato. Thank you, our limitless friends and family, international and local and domestic, and Davao City.
Everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. Thank you for always joining us. Miss Jo Ellen Kruger, special mention. Thank you so much for being so faithful, so loyal, so here with us always. And salamat kaayo until next week. God bless.
God bless you.